Albie here from Spirit for Spirits, welcoming you back behind the stick. Now in this segment today, we're going to be talking a lot about liqueurs. Now before I get there, I want to remind everyone all the ingredients that make a cocktail in the first place. We went over that in our very first episode at Whistle Pig Farm when Savannah Burnett was teaching us about old fashions. 4 ingredients: spirit, sugar, bitters, and water. And sugar is really what we're going to be focusing on today. I'm going to introduce you to some great liqueurs and ways that we can manipulate that sugar with different types of flavors. We've mentioned Cointreau in some previous episodes about triple sec itself. Now the Cointreau is an orange liqueur. Bitter and sweet orange peel with that lovely dry finish allows us to manipulate the citrus and citrus peel of orange into any cocktail we desire. The next thing on my list, the Hearing Cherry liqueur. One of my favorite ways to manipulate a Manhattan is to cut in some of this wonderful barrel-aged cherry liqueur. Really makes a wonderful twist on a Manhattan, a great element of liqueur to keep in your own home. Next on the list, right here, 2 of my favorites and staples for my home bar, yellow and green chartreuse. Now, chartreuse is made by French monks, and they're the only ones who know the exact recipe. What we do know is that they're super herbaceous. I mean, tons of greens and stuff in here. They really work well with anything like rosemaries and thyme. The green chartreuse, although sweet and is a liqueur, is 110 proof, so be careful when manipulating that. Now the yellow is a little bit different, really delicious herbaceousness as well, but the proof has been pulled way down to 80, so it makes it a little bit easier to work with. Now those 2 things have a really cool separate sort of finish on them, this really light bitterness. That brings me directly to my next element. This is something I know we saw in our second episode when we talked about Negronis. It is Campari. Campari, in my estimation, never has a substitute. It is what it is. The best version of an orange liqueur with a bitter finish. And they call it a bitter in Italy, but not quite the way that they use that word in Italy, which is the next bottle you'll see here, Amaro. And now the word Amaro actually means bitter in Italian. The cool thing about Amari as an entire category is that there's really no overseeing law based on it. So Amaro can sort of be anything. For the Italians, what I've learned over the years is that sort of every little region, every little household has their own version of it, something specific to them. So this one in particular has a touch of bergamot, maybe a light lemony front to it, but at the same time is sweet and very bitter. The bittering agent is normally a gentian root, or maybe a cinchona, something like that. And this overall liqueur selection is a great way to get started in your home bar. Now, one of my other favorite things, and this brings me to a great thing, you'll see this says Amaro de Torino. This means it comes from Torino, but there's another thing from Torino that I really love, and it's a product called Cocchi de Torino, and that is a sweet vermouth. And sweet vermouth is sort of its own little category. Not just sweet, but the rest of the elements are vermouth as well. But that'll be next time behind the stick.